From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Tuesday, September 16th. It's another warm start out there, mid-60s. We're going to get up to the mid to upper 80s today. We really need rain. It does not look like we're going to get it today or tomorrow. Breaking news this morning, Robert Redford has died. He carved out one of the truly unique careers in film, long lauded as a heartthrob and leading man, but also reluctant to lean into spotlight, instead choosing to champion independent film and the environment and winning Academy Awards. Hard to choose his most memorable role, Butch Cassidy in The Sundance Kid, All the President's Men, The Natural. As a director, Ordinary People, and A River Runs Through It. Robert Redford was 89 years old. Happening today, the first court appearance for Tyler Robinson, the man accused of killing conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Prosecutors say they are preparing a capital murder charge, indicating they will pursue the death penalty. Authorities say Robinson is not cooperating with investigators, but that his family and friends are talking. Robinson is being held without bail. Vice President J.D. Vance is using Kirk's killing and his podcast to claim that a network of far-left groups is promoting political violence. Vance guest hosted the podcast Monday and brought on several fellow Trump administration insiders.
And while our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
Vance offered no statistics or other evidence to support his claims. The chair of the House Progressive Caucus calls Vance's comments craven, cynical, and very dangerous. Texas Democrat Greg Sazer writes in a series of posts, political violence is a crisis in this country, which is why Americans deserve leaders who want to actually solve it, not weaponize it against their political opponents. More people are losing their jobs for social media posts about Kirk's killing. Indiana's Department of Child Services says a worker is no longer with the agency for a comment that DCS says does not reflect the values of this agency or standards that have been set by this administration. Capitol Chronicle says the worker wrote, "Today was a real pain in the neck, but I survived." DCS says people were calling Indiana's child abuse hotline to complain about the worker. Switching gears now, more child carers are bracing for state-level cuts. Some claim the drop in dollars will put them out of business. News 8 government reporter Garrett Berquist shows us the impact on one center in Anderson.
About 90 children fill the halls here at Hooligans Learning Academy. If the planned Child Care Development Fund rate cut goes into effect, some of those children will have to go elsewhere.
Can everyone make the letter I?
Macy Dunn says these small lessons are a big help later on.
So when they leave here, they're prepared to go to the public school systems. Most of our kids that leave here, they know all or most of their alphabet. They know how to write. They know how to recognize their alphabet.
Teachers here say about 90% of these kids are here because of Child Care Development Fund vouchers. One of them is Dunn's own daughter.
If I don't have CCDF, then I don't know what I would do, because then I wouldn't be able to make my house payment. I wouldn't be able to make my car payment. So I would be either a stay-at-home mom and find odd and end jobs, or I could bring her here and help me, because if I go and not have CCDF, then I'm paying $400 a week.
The Family and Social Services Administration is cutting its voucher reimbursement rates. Officials there say the program faces a $225 million funding gap through next year. They blame what they call unsustainable use of temporary COVID relief funds. They say, "We made this decision to protect the children and families that depend on CCDF vouchers. There's only one pot of money. We could either protect providers or kids, and we chose kids." FSSA officials turned down my request for further comment.
We're not separate entities, it's all for one. So when you choose kids, you choose providers. When you choose providers, you choose kids. So hopefully we can get him to understand that and see that when you make budget cuts to CCDF, that's only going to make your budget for other programs go up.
Individual reimbursement rates vary based on income, county, and other variables. Beginning October 5th, Michael says her reimbursements will drop from $160 per child per week to $57.
I'm honestly scared to even think about. Enrollment is already so low with the wait list that they implemented that I really don't want to have to think about if children are going to have to pull.
Both Michael and United Way officials tell me they've heard from some providers who might not be able to stay open. United Way suggests working with your provider on options such as a sliding scale plan. But Dunn says she's out of options.
This is my first and only job I've ever had. If the rates cut down, then I lose my paycheck. And if I lose my paycheck, then I'm going to have to go find another job. And if I have to find another job, I know I won't be able to make ends meet.
And as with anything budget related, it is unlikely state lawmakers will make any changes before the next budget session. That's not until January of 2027. In Anderson, I'm Garrett Bergquist for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
The Indiana Fever face a winner-stay-home game tonight in the first round of the WNBA playoffs. They play the Atlanta Dream in Game 2 of a best-of-3 series. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez reports from Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Well, before tonight's playoff game, you can expect a pregame on Bicentennial Unity Plaza. That starts at 5. You don't need a ticket to tonight's game to get in. It's also a red out, so if you're coming to tonight's game, you can expect a free red t-shirt with your ticket to get into the game. Here to tell us a little bit about what to expect, we have Amber Cox. She's the GM and COO of the team. I almost gave you a promotion there.
There you go.
Amber, tell us a little bit about what fans can expect if they come out tonight.
Well, to your point, the fun really starts pregame out on the plaza. Lots of things for the kids to do, especially inflatables. We've got a band. Obviously, you can always pick up a basketball and shoot hoops on the court. So a great time to get revved up before you head into the game. The team shop is always a great stop as well. We've got some great new playoff merch that fans can pick up. And then in the game, we've got some great entertainment. We've got 5-time Grammy winner Wynonna Judd singing the national anthem. And then we've got DJ Cool performing at halftime. So all of that around playoff basketball, which, we're so excited to be here playing a home playoff game for the first time since 2016. It's really going to be an electric atmosphere tonight, and we're looking forward to hosting all of our great fans.
The team has been through a lot this season. I know the story of the series has kind of been the injuries that the team has been dealing with. What are the keys to bouncing back from the loss earlier this weekend, and especially with the injuries?
Well, I think any game is full of runs, and I think the intensity level around playoff basketball is always high, so it's not getting too high or too low when those runs happen. Atlanta is a great team. They've got great players with playoff experience. We know they're going to go on runs. So it is sustaining that, minimizing it as best we can. We need to control the offensive boards, defend on the three-point line and in the perimeter, in the paint. Everything really starts for us on the defensive end. But this team has really overcome so much. It's been next woman up, and they continue to show up, show some grit. So we have a lot of faith tonight that we're going to get this one and hopefully send it back to Atlanta.
Amber, thanks. If you're looking to come out to the game tonight, last I checked on Ticketmaster, tickets were going for a little less than $10. So if you have nothing to do tonight, there is that available. We'll have all of that information up on our website, WishTV.com. The game against the Atlanta Dream tips off at 7:30. Reporting downtown, I'm Hernan Gutierrez for Wish TV and WishTV.com.
New on Daybreak, the State Department of Correction is asking lawmakers for almost $16 million for upgrades to a prison that's part of a federal immigration agreement. State Budget Committee is set to consider the proposal tomorrow. It's for the Miami Correctional Facility. This summer, the Trump administration dubbed it the Speedway Slammer. The committee's agenda says the money would pay for new perimeter fencing, lighting, and temporary housing. The Department of Correction spokesperson previously told our partners at the Indiana Capitol Chronicle that the prison would not need any new construction to house immigrants. There's no word yet on the reason for the change. The ACLU is suing Indiana State University. Suit claims that the school should not have ended a work-study program at the Pride Center, which offers LGBTQ support for people in Terre Haute. Suit claims that ISU cut the program because of a Justice Department requirement, citing the possible discrimination against students who are not LGBTQ. The ACLU contends the jobs and services are open to all, so there can be no discrimination. News 8 has reached out to the university for comment on the suit, but we have not heard back yet. New overnight, President Trump has filed a $15 billion libel and defamation lawsuit against the New York Times. Trump filed the lawsuit in federal court in Florida. It names several articles and a book from journalists at the Times published in the lead-up to last year's election. Trump had previously threatened to sue the Times over claims it made in its Jeffrey Epstein coverage. So far, the New York Times has not commented. Trump administration says it has reached a deal with China to save TikTok in the United States. Neither side is giving specific terms. China's trade representative characterized it as a basic framework consensus. Threat of a ban dates back to the Biden administration ordering ByteDance to sell the platform. Trump has delayed the deadline for the sale several times. The current deadline is tomorrow. Let's go to Jane King now with your business headlines.
Southwest Airlines will require passengers remove lithium batteries from mobility devices and carry them into the cabin. Now, this new policy begins on September 25th, and it is a safety measure to reduce the risk of in-flight fires. Well, the Federal Trade Commission probing Ticketmaster over whether it's done enough to keep bots from illegally reselling tickets on its platform. Now, this investigation focused on Ticketmaster's compliance with the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, or the Bots Act, which bans the use of bots for per-person ticket limits for popular events. They're often used to circumvent those limits. Now, the company could be on the hook for potential penalties of $53,000 per violation. And the latest operating system updates for the iPhone, iPad, Mac, Apple Watch, and Apple TV feature the tech giant's much-touted liquid glass interface. Now, the iOS 26 also has AI-powered live translation for phone calls, text, and FaceTime, and other tools include screening for calls and texts from unknown numbers and a hold assist feature to notify you when a customer service agent is available. Okay, nearly 1 in 3 parents have discovered their child has made an online purchase without permission, with kids' most expensive unapproved shopping sprees costing families about $170 on average. This was commissioned by the digital personal finance company Achieve and conducted by Talker Research. And the survey found despite the financial risk, many parents don't monitor, at least not very closely, their children's spending. 23% of parents rarely or never check their children's debit and credit card activity. Stocks rose yesterday after President Trump said U.S.-China negotiations were going well. And we also have that Federal Reserve meeting that gets underway today, where we do expect a modest interest rate cut. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
The Federal Reserve begins a 2-day meeting today. It's the first meeting for one new board member and the first since President Trump tried to oust another. Amy Kiley reports.
Confident of anything.
The Federal Reserve Board meets today at a pivotal time for the panel. It has a new face after last night's Senate confirmation of Stephen Myron. He's replacing a governor who resigned last month. He's also keeping his job at the White House, but going on unpaid leave.
The senators at least say the right thing about independence, and I think that counts for something.
That Governor Lisa Cook is still on the board today, despite President Donald Trump's attempt to fire her. That's after an appeals court ruled in her favor yesterday.
The key takeaway here is what exactly is cause and what kind of power does that ultimately give to the president of the United States when it comes to the Federal Reserve?
Trump is pushing the Fed to slash rates. Many investors expect it to announce a modest quarter-point cut tomorrow.
They're making a bet that the recent reacceleration in inflation is being driven by tariffs and that they can look through it. That's a big bet.
Meanwhile, many economists are sounding the alarm about stagflation. That's the combination of slow economic growth, a rise in unemployment, and inflation. Experts say it's a challenge for the Fed.
Tariffs cause the economy to shrink. That's the sort of thing you'd normally cut rates for. Tariffs cause inflation to rise. That's the sort of thing you'd normally raise rates for.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
This has been your News 8 Daily. From Wish TV, I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on Wish TV and wishtv.com.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.